So like 7 minutes before.
And do we have enough battery?
Should be, it's plugged in.
Oh, okay,
It's all plugged in the wall,
Okay.
so
OSP right behind me.
I wasn't following the cables.
for sure.
Is that one two wheels going more than?
Sure.
The speakers. No, that's
What the
here.
legislature is gonna do.
Should be all good.
All right, thank you so much.
Of course,
Appreciate
anytime.
it.
I know that that is a priority for OSBA. That's one of 3 priorities that we're focusing on. essentially. But I know.
I was in meetings and the parents were asking me, are you gonna have that really cool summer camp thing again this summer? And it's like, I don't know.
I'm trying to think.
Right,
of
it's
who-
in, we're gonna be a few minutes late. We were to get fresh flags on the outside of your car somewhere. His boots will be so muddy.
Yeah, I'm trying to, I was just talking to somebody, I think it was yesterday, they're canceled or something.
Yes,
or
I was.
Already, they're just making.
People would make, person make plans, you know, okay.
Alright, but yeah.
We
There aren't that
forgot,
many
so we can
people
start.
in Oregon, I don't think.
That'd be
Maybe
Hey,
east.
Aaron? You want, you can bring it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm the person in charge. All right. Let's do this thing. I'll call us to order officially.
Okay.
I don't know what time it is, so I'm sorry.
It is 4:04.
Thank you. There you go.
Pacific Daylight Time.
So I owe you an apology. I promised you that I would do get you a community survey between last time and this time. And I didn't do that because my plate was full. I couldn't do it.
A little busy. That's fine.
But that's okay, because we're just gonna do a switcheroo and process. And we're gonna do portrait of a graduate first, which I think you're gonna enjoy. I hope you'll enjoy this process. I know that I enjoy watching boards, watching teams do this work. Because really cool things come out of it. So we're gonna do the formative process for the portrait of a graduate. And time permitting, we'll actually work on the actual statements that will go into your portrait of graduate. So skip that, go to the prompt. Okay. I suppose I should have stopped and said, are there any questions you want to ground? That's okay. Hearing none, then we'll go ahead and go into this prompt. I want you to think of a recent former student. So like this year or last year. And think of, or any, any other person who hasn't necessarily been a student, it's just a kid that you know, that has inspired you. And try to identify what made you proud of that person. Think about that. You can probably start visualizing. You probably have a kid in your head already. Okay. So then chat for a minute with the person sitting next to you and discuss that, and then we'll write those down. Okay. So you discuss with Bridget. Once you have a kid in your head. Sorry.
It's hard to narrow it down.
That not knowing what the reason for the student. Young kids who want.
Well, she has known what direction she wanted to go. She has, well, she had Catholic, she is Cretan. And I watched her training her fast and showing her she.
It's just like she's this Renaissance girl. Okay. Need to know what we're talking about. Yeah, it just goes back on like the history of the spot that I had, but. So it's teaching.
Is she really?
I was.
You must be proud, you have every person.
What's most of us, I thought it was the student.
Okay.
Access to information. Ask
From the standpoint of the things that she did this year. And
Not necessarily chasing out their career and trying to pursue some of these subjects. Students, years, so good. The math wasn't their thing, but.
More so by year by You don't have to study, you should do something fun, you know, like still get both. Is it cool?
And I heard kind of intellectual conversation.
I think the
There was.
Of course you did.
Oh, learning
Yeah,
harder.
gonna keep you engaged in something like that. Higher order thinking.
Teacher jokes.
You know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And so that's very good. Very good. Yeah.
I mean, always the students.
Right. Yeah.
Caring.
So I just wanted to put it out there. I didn't
Yeah,
want
sometimes
my
kids
kids.
now.
They're.
Still math.
And that's why I didn't mention my kids.
Right.
But yes, I think of them all the same. Yeah, yeah.
All
Well, it's a good parents. And, yeah. It was different back then. Because we were small towns, right? And, you know, as a mom, I was involved. Volunteering, you know, they, I do something, but I.
And that's harder and harder. to use that. These are cell phones. Just that whole idea. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Same sorts of things. The other one that came to mind is the student. Is adaptability. That,
My daughter and her family did live.
get locked in.
So my grandkids
Um,
went to a point.
It's much more.
it has to be done. That there's.
Yeah, they moved to Sun Country. They got education.
Yeah, adaptable, what's what.
There was, oh. Yeah, my daughter wouldn't even tell me all of it. She said, Mom, if you.
And, another one is.
But that's what they're.
You know, they know what,
And
if
it's
they
really
know what they
sad.
think, they know what they want.
Yeah, and then my granddaughter.
I'm not afraid to.
Yeah.
There's a.
Yeah, making those changes.
Sometimes people are very intelligent and sometimes catastrophize all the time. They're always thinking about what could happen.
Absolutely.
The worst case scenario. Thinking. And that's.
Okay. I'm gonna reel you in.
Yep.
All right.
Yes.
Come on back.
I like
Oh, yeah.
that. I like that.
Well, yeah. All right. So what are some of the things that came up? Made you proud about these kids?
Their drive.
Try. All that.
We had kind of a, I think a big three, which was curiosity, creativity, and resilience or perseverance.
Okay, creativity. And perseverance, I think that.
like resilience and perseverance kind of go hand in hand.
Well, anybody else have that?
Empathy.
Empathy. That's
That was the other one.
Independent.
independent.
Parents love and hate.
So,
Yeah, they're independent.
Scares the hell out of
Oh,
me.
they're independent.
so true.
Mm,
I wouldn't know.
Respect.
mhm. Don't stop it.
Appropriate self-confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Most qualifiers.
Appropriate self-confidence.
You don't want arrogance, but.
Right.
Appropriate measured self-confidence.
Kids that are always asking for validation, especially as they get older, it can become a problem. I mean, I've had the, the A students, the driven students that are always, is this right? Is that doing okay?
Am I okay?
That always, the lack of self-confidence.
Yeah,
We had some similar words, couple that maybe to add on, is we had collaborative. And then Susan had kind of flexible, adaptive.
flexible, can I say resilient?
Well, resilience is hanging in there and tough stuff. Flexible is maybe being open to new ideas and kind of maybe like, I mean, they are, I mean, I would say they overlap, but
That's been sense.
And then you said collaborative.
collaborative.
And the word courageous came in there too.
Love that, courageous. Get that over here. It's not working. This-
They're taller, easy.
Need a higher.
Having,
What else? Anything else? That's it? Okay, that's fine. That's a good list. Okay. So that was present. Now,
well, I guess one other thing that just. Trying to decide if it's there, it probably is if you mix them up, and just willing to make mistakes. Willing
Sure.
to fail and continue on, I mean, that's part of perseverance, so I don't know if that needs to be written separately, but. I mean, that ties into confidence, that ties
Yeah,
into being
no.
flexible, persevering.
say it out. loud. Yeah, you bet.
Well, Lincoln, back row. All I think of with some of these is, sort of metaphor of like, kids carry their home in their backpack when they come to school.
Yeah,
And how many kids are carrying these tools with them, and how many kids are getting pulled backwards by their backpack because they don't have these tools.
Oh.
Like, when I hear the students needing constant reassurance, it always makes me wonder what's going on at home, that they feel like they're not doing something right all the time, and that they need reassurance all the time.
even though they're a high flyer.
Mhm.
Yeah, sure. So we're debriefing the prompt that's on the screen right now. So we thought of a kid that inspired us. Like now, or in the last year or so. And then we're just trying to pull those qualities out and get one. Get them out. You know, this is a warm-up exercise. Okay,
I got something to add, just
yeah,
willing to do something, we get so many kids going to work, they're just scared to try to do anything, they just sit there, because they're not sure what to do. And I tell them, just go screw up, it's better than doing nothing.
That's the willing.
Yeah, willing to
Willing to
fail.
fail.
Last one that I added there.
Yeah.
willing to crash and burn.
Yep.
Wow,
I think another one that goes along with that is, it kind of tailspins is taking initiative.
initiative, yeah.
I was just thinking about, if I'm not willing to.
I'm willing to fail, but I want somebody to tell me
Start
what to do first,
Yeah.
whereas the kid that would just, yeah, I'll go for it.
I'd rather somebody do something wrong than do nothing at all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
at least they can learn.
or anticipates need, anticipates opportunity. That- Good work.
appropriate.
Exactly. It's funny, I was with a friend over the weekend and she had invited this company, she didn't really know, and the guy. Just totally self-disclosed that he had a previous life as a criminal and he talked about opportunity and taking initiative, and I was like, it made me think when you say appropriate initiative. Yeah, at some point initiative can be inappropriate to criminal. Okay, looking forward, so. Kind of the same exercise, only it's 15 years from now. Some of the people in the room are retired. Be retired, 15 years, okay, but. So the cast of characters is gonna change, but what are the stories? So you meet a kid. That went to school in the Lone School District. What story do they tell you? What do they tell you? And what experiences in school help them succeed? Okay, so this is a thought experiment.
So you're talking about the same kids now as adults.
No, not necessarily. We're talking about the figure, the one. It's 15 years from now, kids going to school now. 15 years down the road, what do you want them? What do you expect them to say? What now, what do you hope? What did your school district do to help them succeed? Okay? It's a thought experiment, sit with that. And then go ahead and discuss. While we do that, I'll move people. Now we'll get through this. Monkey. Got practice by art. But art's not very good.
That's whatever, but it's necessarily.
What does the school do to?
Well, yeah, and an education that.
Yeah, I learned how to serve.
Nurture.
Yeah.
That supported and. Yeah.
Experiential.
Yes.
Why would experiential learning?
That's right.
Like the same art keepers that.
Thank you.
Yeah. We managed to get a hold of all that.
That's really cool to hear.
One of the things that.
And I'll have a letter for you.
Gemma.
Right.
I just like, that might, so we did a.
Yeah, that's.
We thought about the recent graduate, and what we're trying to kind of describe this, and courageous, thinker, collaborative, all those things.
Get like this one.
Imagine sitting in your future and you're meeting with a student who's graduated this year.
Something.
We've been on this television.
Yes,
I
yes.
was just. I got spiritual hand on
Yes.
Happy and proud.
Forestry.
Growing up.
Okay, yeah.
That's a lot of books. I love from, like, those books, so. Those are kind of. Want to hear you.
Or just go out. And
Right.
Hope.
Like,
They would.
Whatever kids that-
In their education.
They're really.
In my school, allows things that are more.
Yes.
Yeah, I put how to fail and go on.
Yeah.
And then what I'd like to
Or my
see is
school
all that
taught me how to
full
manage.
circle, like you said, the students that then go on to do the coaching, to do
Yeah, that's
that, whatever, in their paths, which is very nice. But yeah, it's
very narrow.
It's
focus.
Like my school.
We,
You know,
yeah.
90% of them.
I think
Obviously,
the nurturing development.
It's very George Fox.
But it has that stuff.
Good grades.
Like they want.
College
Signboard. I felt no as a person, like they take it. So
Yeah.
no value.
Yeah.
Sort of have pushback then to just get your education.
Yeah.
It was down,
Yeah.
my school allowed me to stay one agreement.
That's great.
And that was. For some people, that was one of the choices.
Yeah, I think along those lines, like, it's.
Regulation, because probably.
Pathways are options. Yeah, high school.
Without that season, you know, and I would say like.
At different places in life.
Well, I should say.
It's hard sometimes to hear people say, well, in elementary school, I really got the foundational skills that allowed me in secondary, usually it's more recent, but I hope they would say, I got my basic skills that allowed me to then
That they don't have.
take off in the secondary.
Ability to just automatically, but I understand that they.
But-
Kids are like, really well.
I can't remember, like, I can't remember as a kid really learning how to read.
The combination.
But I know my teachers taught me how to read, and I know I'm thankful they did. But it's weird to think about, like, you know, those things like kinder and first and second grade.
They're kind of the most critical times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
after that,
all of that is necessary.
I don't know how we would.
Research all that, man. That's what I really enjoy. You know, sound me down.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
I heard that.
I got to as a fourth grader, right? It was like first grade class is actually just with one. Yeah, it was really sweet. I cut back on it now. They put their. It made it to be relaxed. Got to cast and things like that.
Yeah, I think that empowerment.
My son in that.
Wonder, like, you know, that part of your job is supervisor, you're not going to direct the whole school. And sometimes you were a child saying, we're going to direct. What are you in charge? I'm sure it's crazy. I didn't have you know, that's like, you're about to say for the job. Like, I think about.
Yeah.
The process of making it.
Somebody was using. Something.
Oh, fun.
So I, because if I had.
Exactly, yeah. My son works in.
We did like an entire social webbing
You know.
program. Represented, like all of the individual. And that was really cool because we knew that there was. these resources that-
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really, in my opinion, it's the way.
Pretty proud.
You know, and I put it
Get a lot more perspective.
no matter what.
All right, some groups are moving on, so let's come on back in.
You know, there's that one.
Get this one done. Come on back. So how did your school district impact this kid 15 years in the future? That's a weird thing to say.
We have some metaphorical kids who graduate from this metaphorical
Yeah.
school district.
Ready?
Provide an opportunity.
Opportunity.
Have a lot, but one of them, it's kind of a two-parter, is they learned how to learn and how to apply that learning.
Civics you learn in school, you may never use. But the general process of learning is crucial.
And then pulling from our themes of the schools that these, as my kids have gone through, how to be brave and how to be kind.
Being digitally literate, like provide teaching the kids how to navigate a digital world.
Can I add citizenship to that as well? So I mean, it's just, not just, yeah.
I'm so glad that social media was not a thing when I was. Bad enough when my friends go back and scan our old pictures and post them, I'm like,
We were talking about, how in Philomath in particular, the kids learn a sense of community.
Part of the
Exactly.
well, the school itself can be a community of Columbus, well,
The whole, yeah,
try to find community where you can find it, but
yeah.
you're right, I've seen it always strong in that way.
There's on there also that the opportunity to learn what they did.
What they didn't
They
say.
had the opportunity to try to learn what they didn't want to do, like going forward. So
Lots of
that
experiences so they could both find out what they liked, but also what they didn't like. It's like back when we did our senior projects, you would find students that devote a lot of time to something and then realize, oh no, I don't want to go into the medical field. I don't like blood. or-
God bless health occupations, huh?
But I mean, that can be as valuable, I mean, if you spend, 8 years in an advanced degree at the college level, then all of a sudden discover, wait, I don't like that. I don't want to do that. So earlier they can get exposure to multiple experiences that can help them make that decision. Maybe, yeah.
This did not come up in our group, but just came to mind as you were talking, which was, and I've seen it in my own kids and other kids, is having someone who's not your family member believe in you really makes you believe in yourself more. So I don't know how to make that into just a couple of words, but,
I'm just gonna put, they believed in me.
yeah,
Because one adult can make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Eric used the term over here, he said, school is a safe space.
Yep.
And so it was kind of a, if a student can say to us, school is one of my safe places. And I felt known, that those were important.
Same. That's great. What else?
well, and another one that came to mind, I was trying to think of like my own experience in high school and just opening my eyes to additional possibilities, so like. We kind of said learning what you don't like, but also learning what you do like, because you can take electives and you can, study things that you maybe didn't know about in the first place, or just, the wide curriculum that might happen in social studies or something, and you learn about a concept that suddenly opens you up to a whole bunch of other things, so kind of opening your mind.
I could don't like. No.
How about just simply the simple word prepared? Prepared.
A school that does a good job in preparing students for life,
Sure.
but however you want to define it. I don't know how this could figure in, but one of the things that, and I know not a lot of our students do this, at least not school related, but international travel, like both of my two kids did the German exchange program in the summer where they spent 3 weeks in 3 weeks, whatever it was in Germany.
Would that fall under many experiences?
Probably,
Yeah.
it's just that,
Diverse experience.
the more you can get a sense of the world rather than just your local community, I think the better citizen the world would be.
Yeah, absolutely. What else, educators? We had a lot of support.
I like what you said, Joe. It's
I
always
mean, Joe is.
My teacher.
It's teaching people to be global citizens.
Citizens,
Yes, we had good citizen of the world, so there you
Oh,
go.
I like
global
that.
citizen.
and you can do that without traveling internationally.
Oh, yeah, I'm just saying.
You can get a global mindset.
That was my brain now.
You get the mindset that I want to travel, and maybe that's a life goal for me. Yeah. Sure.
We had my school allowed me to explore my dreams.
Explored my dreams. Oh, I love that.
Awareness of different potential pathways or. I keep coming back to that because I feel like I haven't quite said it right yet, but.
Well, it's kind of like, it's not our future, it's theirs. And that's the struggle with as fast as the world moves now, is to be able to stay in touch with the world they will enter, as opposed to the world that I now live in.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
It's like if you can, I mean, sometimes it's not always easy to tailor everything around every kid's interest, but there's a lot of things that we can, like if I'm a teacher and I need kids to learn how to like have a like write an opinion piece effectively articulate a position. I almost don't really care exactly what the topic is if they can get those same skills. So then the term we use sometimes when we say explore my dreams is also having like voice and choice and agency in that. And so I think there's lots of ways that, kids could go through our system and say, yeah, I was able to kind of, do things that I was interested and passionate about. And does that make sense? Like,
So agency in my learning.
Yeah,
Might be
agency
a
and
way.
learning, yeah, voice and choice.
Agency in general is so huge.
Yeah.
Well, I also feel like there's merit in making those, just going through the process of exploring those things. I mean, there's merit in the process of that too. Not just the opportunity itself, but the process of exploring the opportunity.
I think Garth used the term grit.
I got gritty. But down just because. Got some grit.
Also talked about students saying that they appreciate their K-12 experience. They don't just appreciate their high school experience or the experience of graduation, but they appreciate the package that has been a part of their work.
It goes along with grit, also something about. You have to build your own opportunity, like the world's tough, you can't. You have to learn to find the opportunity. So I don't know what that
And
is.
that's kind of like I was talking about the process of that, like scholarships, we were talking about this the other day. Just the process of applying for scholarships, whether you get them or not, there's value in the process.
So go back to that, being perseverance.
Yeah.
And be willing to try and
Right.
fail and try again, and that's hard to teach.
It's very hard.
Extremely hard. I mean, we try, we try as best we can as educators and parents, but yeah, that's one of the things I always struggled with. The teacher was trying to, how can I encourage the students to keep trying, and all they were focused on was getting that grade.
Yeah, it's about creating opportunity, which is kind of goes to initiative, which I think ended up there.
Eric used our Center for Educational Leadership words, happy and proud.
Yeah, I was trying to look at like where like kids are saying like, I really just like. Got a chance to, and I think it kind of fits like joy for learning, like I really love, I got to explore things and it was well-rounded, there might be some. Things that you could plug that into, kind of what I was thinking about that, having fun at school, but also being proud, those are different things, and when you're proud, because you're making growth and progress. So I used happy and proud.
Can I say joy and proud?
Yeah,
Joy and pride in learning.
Alone, the word actually mean love of learning.
Yeah.
Something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think our district does provide a lot of well-rounded experiences, so kids with music or art or theater, physical, like I think that continuing to. You hope kids would 15 years, I look back and say, my whole person was developed through the school. That could already kind of fit into what I like and don't like, but.
Yeah, but I didn't grow as a person.
I think I had a voice in what I was learning.
Agency in my learning. I can put a voice here too.
I personally can't even imagine what it's going to look like in the world in 15 years. So with the current climate right now, especially, like it's hard to think what it might be like in 15 years. So I keep trying to think of like with my kids, what do I want to hand them so that they can succeed in 15 years? Because everything moves so quickly. The technology curve of speed and access is so wild. Like that's the thing I keep coming back to. I don't even know how to. And I'm a pretty imaginative, creative person, and I can't even fathom what it would actually be like in 15 years. Because there's no way 15 years ago I would have thought we'd be where we are right now.
Yeah.
But a huge part of that is gonna be how is AI integrated into our society going forward?
Assuming we still have electricity.
Yeah. Yeah, I think generally people, once you start asking people to predict reality in 5 years, it gets kind of foggy. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
you can probably get us out to 5 years, but okay. So there are 13 people, 14 counting me, 13 participants in the group. So I'm gonna break you up into fours. So I'm gonna have you count off my fours. Ready, set, go.
1,
2, 3, 4, 2, 3,
4,
1,
2, 3.
Awesome. So you're ones, so you put the ones here, we'll put the twos over there, put the threes here and the fours here. The shuffle. You're number 2. I'm done, Brian. Good job, Billy.
What are you? Team number 1. Now you're 1.
Change right here.
4.
Fours.
Where's 4?
Great. Are you fours? I put fours here on the
Yes,
floor.
it is, yeah.
Always do there.
Here's my four. We can be blue. Threes get to be that lovely. field color. And the one that you're gonna be multicolored. You won't be able to read it, because I have my goals.
And help Steve with 1.
Yeah.
5 or 2.
Yeah.
I've been.
What are over here?
Steve, what were you?
Right here. You're on the spot.
You're on the spot.
Yeah, I was next to you and I was 2, so I think.
By the way, in terms of recording.
Oh, gotcha. Like you say, and there. Gotcha.
All the technology's over there, so I'm gonna move these. Okay,
That's gotta be Garth.
so here's how this works. This is a brainstorm. So I already shuffled the deck, small groups, okay. Next rule is one idea per sticky note, okay? And I gave you pens. What we're describing for your team. You gave a nice big thick pen so we can read them. There we go. Okay, we'll take 15 minutes for, and then what we'll do is we're gonna put them over on the board over here, so. At some point when we break, we're gonna throw them up here, and then what I want you to do is start grouping them. So it seems like there's 1 or 2 people who just kind of naturally do that. If you don't do that naturally, I will choose people. Okay, so those of you who like to group things or are the rangers in the room, you know who you are. Yeah, feel free to jump in there and group those up. Okay, so that's this gallery walk. So we want to group it up, okay? So what are the skills, mindsets, and qualities? We've kind of been doing some warm up. Well, these are specifically, what do you want your kids to leave with? Critical thinking was on, just go on. Okay, ready, set, go. I'm gonna set a timer.
Like,
Bad.
that's what they have in college. Like,
Mhm.
that's some rock.
Yeah, start. Which can
Uh,
be.
I think grit.
Cooking.
They roll so easy that it's hard.
Shooting.
They give up pretty good.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, you're doing that. Okay, I'm gonna move the.
Independence.
Are you writing the
Sort
pen?
Sure.
Yeah.
What's that? The 10?
I think.
And the worst dollar in the world.
Survivability.
There's also soft skills.
I
high
like
EQ.
Sure, yeah, I want to keep it on my points.
Get to some of the skills.
A thirst for knowledge. Like, it's.
Not that we can't do both.
That's.
SITY.
I think we can keep going at all. That was the kind of. I was looking for.
There's now.
This is what the kind of meant for it.
No, you're good.
I worked well, but I'm terrible.
No, you're good. You're good. We all want that to be.
Or you want to leave the section?
Right, right. And sometimes they don't. My 20-year-old grandson doesn't care. It's a boy.
All right, already going up, that's wonderful.
I like that. Exactly.
So it's like.
The definitions could get. These could be different.
Doing something like.
Kind of. Yeah.
Does that go back to the show like we were talking about?
Skills, mindset. Words and how ability to.
Producer version.
Yeah, enjoy,
Skills.
Skills is,
different set of skills depending on what it is.
That's good.
Communicator. Yeah. We have more than you. So.
It's not a contest.
It is.
That's about right. That's about right.
Competitive, there's one.
I don't have
I was wondering about going back to that. Right. Right.
That's just kind of train the team. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Team player.
I also, maybe we do otherwise, but the word for it.
Cultural
Their desire to move forward, their drive to always. They wanna always grow.
Yeah.
You know,
I spoke people that want to.
Okay, yeah, for sure. That's something not so common.
Living in
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Other one I was thinking about, which is that, I want students who go through school, instead of being able to.
Skills, my-
You know, well,
This isn't news, but.
Yeah.
I want them to feel successful. Whatever their definition of success. is. I want them to feel successful. You know what I mean? I don't want them to feel like they could have, should have.
It's like,
Sometimes
I can't always control my.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. A stupid movie.
I know. Like, sometimes I thought back, like, at the end of the day, like, you know, like. It's like that. You get all the skills, but for his.
That kind of. Maybe it falls into their sort of. Perfect. Yes. I know. Great job.
These suckers on the wall.
I wrote.
I just spelled.
That doesn't matter.
At all the things, so it's like we're laying the heat, we're hard to find. But after, you know.
That's what they're right there.
Because
I wrote.
that's a hard worker to do, then you can get there.
Well, we broaden the base and got it.
Aaron, I think I scared Laura the other day.
What happened?
Well, I think it was on a weekend. I can't remember what it was, but we were taking our grandkids into the ice cream shop there,
Yeah.
Sugar J's. When we were in, there was a big one, and Laura and another student over here walked in.
Oh, yeah.
They looked at me, and they looked around, and they turned right back around and watched.
That is so funny. Thank you for sharing that. I will be making fun of her for that. That is fantastic.
Oh, yeah, they're all.
I did some gravel parking lots in front of high school. Part of it, sort of, the driveway, so they made. Kind of got us to. I saw the double barricades not building there. Yeah. I'm kind of very much sure it's using chemistry in this part. I drove through my. Yeah, keep some careful.
It's organic waste material.
Trouble.
I would expect nothing less.
Oh, so he's working.
How are we doing?
Getting there.
Aaron,
I'm
you're
kind of,
doing that all alone?
well,
She's
I
good
didn't
at it.
get mine up
Just let
and
it go.
I'm grouping.
She's right. Best in the groups that were already started and she.
I am.
Anyway, so you might have to let her do it.
Well, I have some that are, I was trying to keep like a flow together and we ran out of room.
Well, we're looking for distinct grouping.
Yes, that's what I was trying to do.
Okay.
We ran out of room, so I had to scoot some of them over.
Yeah, you guys are. These will hang together.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Oh, yeah, this is a great result.
That's when I was moving things, and then people started making fun of me.
Like this global awareness and overall, those are.
Here's another one.
It's gonna be arranged. That's right.
Emotional intelligence.
I know, right? Yep. Yeah, but you're supposed to feel honored that we were asked.
That is so funny to me, like.
Right. That's right. Yeah, because you know the mind runs.
Well, see, my group, see, I know my handwriting, so see where it says growth mindset, and then one of my group members, like, you start taking something over, and then I have.
Well, you can.
Yeah, I know.
But
That's
it's
important.
it's not two different groups, it's two for me.
Oh,
It's my writing twice, so I was like, okay, I looked at that, I was like, wait, why did I write that? So that, I would take away someone else's, you know.
I think this goes here. That is very, very, very.
Yes.
Can I give you this?
Oh, thank you.
That's
So, this is gonna go for. Thank you so,
I need to work
so you're super, I know, it's very, very nice, very nice with kids. It's bothering me when kids like. $10 for a shirt. If you have the ability to say, we're glad you're here, here's the shirt. Thank you. Yeah.
It's, you know.
I would say critical thinking. These are kind of.
One thing I'm gonna show you.
Much bigger ones.
I failed to reach out. It's a Red Hill. Starters.
Oh, wow. And then, yeah. And raisins, resilience. There we go. These.
So Sean Raleigh, so Red Hill. In the Morgan Farm, they're.
Self-worth. Wow, that's not right. Like, rich, and keep it and pull it out.
I'll look at it.
That means it's your problem solving.
You know, the outdoors.
Big.
I mean, it's like. And so like sale wise, or efficiency.
Drill.
Yeah, but it's drill.
I told him I'd ask, and my wife said, not asking.
He was working it out. But I think it's all.
Gratitude.
He was like, he didn't like, like.
And I feel like gratitude, and that lives in this emotion. So, like this emotional center kind of needs its piece.
I mean.
They could, for sure. And analytical. But I'm having a really hard time with how.
And empowers.
Here, because I haven't said that was.
I know.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think those are. How are you feeling?
And I'm gonna ring. So I love it.
You guys climbing wall?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't, I'm not sure.
It's funny. So right away, we had some kids go there. But, yeah, and, Morgan Foster.
These are branching off of the dash.
So it's got the red route, the blue route.
Team oriented teamwork. I think
Do
those
we
go
have
together.
collaborative up here?
We do not have collaborative up here, but we probably should. Will somebody
Okay.
put collaborative on a post-it? for me?
Well, I'm glad that you gave, good job, Aaron, you gave the next prompt. Okay, so that's a gallery walk, so what you need to do is get a stack of post-it, or have a friend with a stack of post-it and a pen. That's my timer going off. And so you need to go up and look at this and see what's missing. Like collaborator is missing, or collaborative.
Okay.
So that's one that's missing.
Somebody write it
Probably
up.
should be up there.
I got it.
Mike said teamwork, so I was thinking collaboration, and then he said teamwork, so I thought.
And it's with it.
Yep.
Now they're together and they're friends.
But you have to go put eyes on them, so if you haven't walked through the board and looked at them and they're kind of grouped. And if the grouping doesn't make sense to you, change it.
I was hesitant when I would group it out. I was only reason why you're gonna come down.
Oh, trust the process. That's the one thing.
Crestpoint.
Okay.
Some of those that words need different things.
Yep, they're gonna change it.
Overhead.
It's gonna be so.
Okay.
I'm the least.
Yeah, well, we were rocking the Oak Creek side of it with
Hmm?
2 limbs. And then they decided that they wanted to put some on the other side because it was just junk.
Yeah.
So
you come
Dennis created it.
Okay.
Nope, you're good. I was
Put it
moving out of your
half
way.
up to- There's a Y up there.
Yeah.
We're gonna go 3/4 up to the top.
That's pretty steep.
So if you don't-
Yeah. Yeah, that's why we're gonna use 3/4 up on the top.
Brand new roof, brand new kitchen.
Common sense were really.
Thinking about In the literacy and more of the skill stuff, what about life skills? And when I think about that, I'm thinking about cooking.
Absolutely.
Independent living.
Yeah, there you go.
No, it was our inspector. came through.
Yeah.
I still don't know how.
Really?
Didn't have to. I know, isn't that ridiculous?
Put that up.
Emotional,
No.
like IQ.
My dad did it and my husband did it.
They don't sit in their house.
We have to learn one day, but
That-
so-called Schwab.
My dad was so good about. stuff
My
like that,
dad did.
teaching me how to do that.
Oh, he didn't teach me. He did it for me.
Yeah, and that was, Really?
I should have,
Then I
I
taught
should-
driver's ed and I had to teach people how to change tires.
Yeah.
so-
yeah.
Sense of humor up there anywhere.
Is what?
Sense of humor.
We put, I think, joy or something like that,
Yeah, right.
but we can add, I've got something here.
These groups make sense? You feeling good? What's missing?
There you go, Joe.
I was just,
We got everything.
where would sense of humor go? Yes.
Consumers right up there, producer versus.
Sense of humor.
Huh?
Is that something you teach? I don't know.
Where would that, where would sense of humor?
Grit and resilience are over there, yeah, I could go
Sense
there.
of humor maybe here.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
I don't know, that could go in, well, a lot of these could go in a
It
lot.
looks like these ones don't really have a home. I would probably put hardworking down here with
Sure.
grit
Yep,
and resilient. And producing something versus just being a consumer, where would that go?
So in other words, the production is. the-
Yeah.
Like the initiative and kind of down here.
Yeah.
Nobody put mount of
Nobody put what?
Collaborative, resilience.
You should leave here without a.
Thank you for
Arrest free.
I usually start my day with going like, I'm gonna work hard, I'm trying to be kind, but also I can use some creative ideas, and I can use some wisdom. And I was thinking about like, my own check down of like, what do I hope today as I go into my building, like, I don't know if like being wise or is anywhere on here. I guess that maybe kind of being analytical and critical thinker. Maybe,
Yeah.
Okay, are we feeling good about these groupings?
Yeah.
Producer versus. Oh, interesting.
It can be moved back.
Skills, yeah, sure.
Last week I was sitting there at
I like it.
the kitchen counter.
What about like nimbleness?
Water on the counter.
that flexibility.
I looked up and it's coming out of a light fixture.
Was that in,
And we have
Patrick, put
a
it in.
vaulted ceiling, so
It's-
there's no HVAC.
it's a brainstorm.
There's no.
There are no wrong answers.
Nothing. So we've got
Nimbleness.
all the shingling, looks fine. I'm thinking what happened, this can happen, is that.
Because you
there
guys
was
are
enough rain
about to
at the end,
synthesize
so it
this,
just
so.
blew under the side shingles and got just enough water under there that it followed. I don't think it's a problem, but.
Well, I have a really fantastic.
It's kind of a, my handwriting kind of went crazy, so.
turn the tables on you, Vince, having, having someone who's led a lot of schools through this process, what are we missing?
Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh.
what are you missing?
Yeah, well, they should have that.
What else did come up?
That's what he did it.
Oh, yeah, compassion and sympathy.
That's right, Alcee met yesterday.
Buffer, they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
They
did.
were
Also.
the other one.
They also give me a better discount too.
That's pretty much.
I'm about to let you in on this. They look a lot alike now.
I feel like.
I'm feeling good, you know, I think it's better.
Right.
Along with self-aware and those things, this is more of to me, a character. property.
Huh?
I mean, anybody can put it back, but that's where it goes.
Maybe the ability to like.
Down there with grit too.
Ooh, yeah, self-reflection, yeah, good call. On that theme, I could say self-compassion as well. You know,
Kindness to himself.
There you go, Vince.
I get one. Where does that go? Self-compassion goes.
Is after like situational awareness.
And the ability to, yeah, that goes right in there. Work ethic and
I bet.
feeling successful. Okay, we're feeling good?
Like coachability, like ability to take feedback.
Yeah.
Is clean appropriate word?
Situational awareness. Ooh,
That's what I would think.
That's a skill.
Me and my.
Ryan wants clean on there.
Read the room. Clean meaning like, no drugs, no felonies, just clean, like
clean lifestyle.
Yeah,
Concrete floor.
that kind of goes with his ability to play and enjoy life. I mean,
Within the
balance,
law.
finding balance.
Because of having success.
Healthy.
That is something
Right.
that you haven't talked about. That is something that does come up, is health. I
Like
mean,
now they have
literally
that
talking
big-
about physical.
Like,
you know,
You're kind of like dispositions of like a mindset of a healthy mindset.
Self-care, yeah.
Self-care, yep.
Healthy, yeah, clean lifestyle. This is really
It's
cool.
really like what they just wanted us to die faster. They didn't want us to drown.
You should go.
Just impact debt. Yeah.
Yeah, our old, before this building was rebuilt.
I want to start wear stylish boots like Ryan.
Janitor
will thank me.
I love it.
He's starting a trend. Actually, he started a trend.
No, I actually do like it. I think it's kind of like, this is cool.
I was actually putting my rain pants on, so my pants are so dirty. They called Sandy, well, you're left taking you really trash bags. I can at least tighten them around my boots.
I love it.
I left him under my rear windshield wiper.
Reminds me, I work with another district out on the east side. This guy, his name's Stan, came in. This was like the first or second meeting I ever did with him. But he had literally gotten off the tractor, went to a school board meeting. And I remember him like hitting his shirt and like dust coming off.
Yeah, sure.
You know you're rural Oregon in.
The second was Joe went after Brandon and the smoke was burning my eyes, like all the smoke coming out of my shirt and Joe didn't say anything, but it was like burning my eyes.
Okay.
Is one thing that like, just, do we have adaptable? Because one of the things I hear is like, oh, kids today, you're gonna change jobs like 7 times. Is that?
Adaptable, right?
Okay.
That piece, you know, I mean,
Too big to do in this weather. And they're like, what? 3 days?
Yeah.
Go with the flow.
be able to shift, yeah, jobs and tasks.
My brother's a contractor.
So-
Last year, we had an issue with a leak in the
Can we-
garage.
I want him to learn how to succeed through failure.
You
know what I mean?
Team.
Like, there's a lesson.
Your house is oriented
Could we
for the
collapse
bush
this
right across
and
your
we
pond.
build?
Our main room. overlooks the garage room.
What, we, if you try to say like, what are the links between them? Like, the qualities, you know, is this, are they subsets of each other?
Hey, this is brainstorm. We can put anything we want up there.
Succeed through failure. Is that your grit?
Grit, there's grit.
Maybe, yeah.
So Vince, on a side note, this is what I was trying to hear, so a guy who passed away told me one time, it's like, education's expensive, how you look. If you pay for the school, and you're going to forget it, but you learn on your own, you will remember it forever.
You will.
The education's expensive.
Completely sealed or whatever, but it wasn't enough water.
Vince, were you talking about taking the group here and putting them in skills?
Yeah, putting it over here in skills.
I'm just keeping it close on
This collaboration
it.
is a skill.
Yeah, it is.
You're gonna learn how to do that. Okay,
It's good.
all righty. So step back so you can see the screen and I'm gonna prime the next step.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that shirt. I want that shirt.
Once a month, pizza with the principal, today was the day, and Papa's Pizza gives me pie every month for free. So
That's those
and I know, it's a great day.
Okay, so portraits of a graduate, what do they look like? Who here has actually seen a portrait of a graduate document? 1, 2, 2, good, then this will be really useful. So you're gonna synthesize these into statements. But, what does that look like? I mean, how do I do that? So I like using examples. So here's one, this is Gresham Barlow's. I'm gonna kill myself. Yeah, so I mean, at the bottom, they have this statement of a general statement, culturally responsive graduates who will thrive in an ever-changing global community. Here's some, similarities here, and then they give these qualities. So that's one approach. Here's another approach. This may be for Jen, maybe. So they have just these little statements. That's another way to do it. is a pretty common approach where they come up with a word and then they define what they mean by that. So think of, you have 6 clusters up here, so call out and think of a word that grabs that. Here's the same thing, but they came up with a
I
word.
lost one off. One of the sticky notes fell off the board.
Uh-oh,
We'll get it.
Spell was slow
I
dramatic.
get it. Here's one where they.
I guess we're gonna be closed-minded.
Send it to the graphic designer
They did not send that to the graphic designer.
or. They sent it to, they sent it to the art students. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna split you into 6 groups, so I'll count you off by 6. You can start.
1,
2,
3, 4, 5, 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6.
1, 2.
Okay. So we'll start with the 6s. 6s. You can go up and choose the group that you want.
Who else is 6?
oh, you let me go first so I can be last?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thanks a lot, Vince.
Yeah, it should be pretty small.
Do you have a
2.
preference?
I don't.
So.
Yeah, sure.
each the same.
Yeah.
Maybe just pull them all off then.
Yeah, pull them all off and take them with you. Wait, do I have 6? I do have 6 different colors. Which color?
Oh, do I get to pick first?
You get to pick.
I'm all about pink. Thank
It's
you,
yours.
thank you.
Okay, 5s, you can go. And where are the 2s? Show, if you're 2, okay, 2, you get to choose. Orange. Okay. Those 2 colors are really good. 3s.
You have to describe what it means. So.
Green. So 4s.
21.
Yeah. Focus on top.
Okay. 5s. Good, 5 and 9.
They're.
Oh, they're up there. How about 6s?
We're the 6s.
We're the 6s.
Well, here we go.
Sorry. And you guys get to be the lighter shade of light. Okay, go ahead and pick your things. Order after nice.
Pencil or pen?
It's right in front of me.
Yeah, right.
No, so probably on screen first and then out of all of those.
Draft. Statement.
Big and small groups.
Two?
I have 2 groups left, but 2s and then 1s.
Yeah, and then we do.
Sorry.
Here's, are we okay doing here?
Here we go.
Hey,
Sure.
you know what? I'm gonna see your failure.
There you go.
you
guys 2s?
Yeah, we're back together.
Back to here.
All right. Okay, so here's the drill. So you're creating a statement, synthesizing all your Post-its into some sort of statement that hangs together and makes sense to us. It does not have to be perfect. And you're welcome to use as many large Post-its as you need to write drafts. But that's what we're doing. And then what you're gonna do, when you feel like you're done, go ahead and put your big Post-it with your statement. So you like a word like compassionate, cares about all, you have some sort of defining statement. You have that, put that up there and then put all your constituent underlying Post-its back up on the board in kind of a group and try to be neat. And then what we'll do is we'll do a gallery walk again and you'll get feedback. We go, walk us through that, so it'll be show and tell. So that's how this will wrap up. Okay, any questions?
Yes.
Do we have a sentence then?
When I was thinking about global awareness, citizenship, perspective, you.
Yeah, you know.
Really confident. I mean, this word, so I put this thing today.
I almost feel like I'm thinking.
Culturally competent
Yes, you
individuals
may.
possess the skills, knowledge, and attitudes to effectively interact with people of diverse backgrounds.
Or just a
Understand the perspective of these customs and values. And we don't have to use
You
cultural
want to take
competence.
skill
I don't want to think about people from different diverse backgrounds, language. Seems like that.
Yes.
Perspective, all that. I've seen culturally competent individuals as a antagonist, but I also don't want to just get angry. So like, are we effectively utilizing AI to, but there might be one, you know, it can also be search like whatever.
And collaborate.
I mean,
Well, you can throw them all into it. Hold on, I need your attention again. Disruptive question. This group thinks that they may have two separate statements that, remember, I clumped two together. And they're thinking maybe that's inappropriate. So if you feel like your one is actually two, make it two. Okay, this is y'all's. Do what you think is right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I like how this one had, like the skills, knowledge, and attitudes. That's almost gets into what's called discrimination. You know, and I think.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
You guys cheated. You can't do that.
Culturally competent individuals possess the skills, knowledge, and attitudes to effectively interact with people.
I think so too.
Thank you.
Yeah, so should we start with collaborative? We have to figure out the title and yeah. Defining statements.
You can
If I
use
just write it
AI.
down, maybe put collaborative, that's my name. And then.
You're welcome to.
Define
Like.
statement, if I read all this,
Okay.
Kind of tie them up.
Ability to accept and provide feedback, I don't know. like, how that would-
That person here.
Sure. Yeah.
Is.
It's a severe. And then, well, then we're supposed to.
Statement, right, does it hit on understand perspective?
I'm not still have a little
It
bit
does
of work to
good
do.
job.
Yeah, that was my thing too.
Yeah.
Kind of foster a good relationship.
I don't know, you know what I mean?
And then-
Say between a portrait and graduate, this could be create a statement, create a descriptive word and define a statement. And then works with it. But I'll bet you I can see pretty close.
All of these are, I mean,
That's how I rode my.
Yeah, it's from all of these things are.
That's what my note
It's like, here's a more detailed explanation. It really, what it really means is it starts with understanding perspective drafting. It deals with spectacle usage, awareness of self and others.
Yeah, yeah, like I was gonna say. that one in my word.
Yeah.
It's like justice, healthcare, violence. It's,
So there's just becoming.
Confidence.
I was gonna say tools for.
And I just thought citizens who,
Were we supposed to write the bullet points too, or just put these back up?
I mean, you could just put those up, but yeah, you have,
Yeah, title and a statement.
yeah. Strong work ethic.
Well, my.
That's your spirit, that's your service.
individuals.
I was a math teacher.
You start with math.
We're not the creative types.
Next phase is feedback, so here, this chair out of the way.
Oh.
Yeah. These are citizens who possess the skills not to effectively address people from.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
There we go.
Okay,
So how does it go?
good job, team.
Go get water.
Yep.
I'm not either. I never did.
It is.
Do you wish we had so. Let's see.
So the skill of citizenship encompasses the knowledge of the values and society. Actually, that's right.
Yeah.
That's.
Yep.
It's like in some ways, like, it's hard to be an effective citizen. Like, you start with like, you have the knowledge and the care and those things. So when you look at that allows you to be more effective as a citizen. They kind of see them together. One, if I don't care in any interest of your background or your experience or all that, it's hard to,
We have,
like, yeah.
a lot of these things all.
I like the
Title or
Substantiation.
Yeah.
Confidence.
You need to approach. Yeah, it's more than just.
You want to write.
Yeah, which is.
So, knowledge,
Critical thinking, that's way better. Yeah, you just.
abilities. Value,
Or character. Character of success, and these are qualities that if you have these things. We should probably talk to them.
Member of society,
Mhm.
fostering a democratic. Just.
Someone would have something.
Using AI to write it.
I kind of want to say democratic, caring. We're using the tool, this is the 21st century, right? Yeah.
We chose not to be wordy.
Beyond justice and democratic, is there just like good natured care, democratic, caring, and just community? That's something. It's true, like, you know, like money.
Betty is, Tom and I drove by the feed store the other day.
We only had 5 because we still made 2.
I don't, because there's never more than, well, usually no.
Three people in there.
And they're working.
They also.
I know, I know.
That's great.
Sharing.
This right
Yeah.
here.
Right.
Knowing one other person, and when it gets, if you gotta do something, Terry can show out and run the counter. And the other person can go load feed.
Exactly.
Whatever.
Exactly. I thought the same thing. I'm sure,
Beautiful.
yeah, I know, because where would you cut, but even if
Like-
you cut the non-family.
I know. And, you know, so yes, it's structural, you know, all that, so. We just haven't been working on it.
Yeah. Yeah,
So I had a chance to work yesterday and today, and so I.
better grab it, yeah.
But my truck, is pushing water out the way.
Oh.
So we don't know if it's a head gasket or, you know, we're not sure, they just.
Yeah. There's a couple of ways we can do that. We've got the show meals and the other thing I would say is, utilize Lexi. Yeah, Lexi's comfortable.
Yeah,
Correct. Bill Williams
I know.
is Lexi's president. Has to read from.
No, it's tough.
Wondering. If they want to take it.
Yeah, or if she wants to use prep time or after school. On Friday, or something like that.
And they did a fantastic job.
Oh, it's done.
It's done.
Quick.
You know, if she's still around in the
I
school.
didn't
Out of the water.
That's all right.
No, it's not.
That same day, I think.
We wouldn't.
I graduated.
Now that
right
we-
at
yeah.
17.
And she would have,
And, they,
yeah, or if I'm available, I can go to her class.
they got up there and they repaired it for
Or
us.
if you've
They
got,
equipment
she has to teach
like our
her.
bathrooms and
Yeah, that may be a possibility too for a time. But yeah,
understand how it processes.
Well, it's like you kind of.
I'm never gonna be
But
done being
we
that.
can get.
yeah, we've got some other people, so there doesn't have to be Lexi. That we kind of move around and do it.
That is.
Oh, you want that definition? I didn't know you might. I can get it to short.
So,
That definition is awesome.
they came out,
So there'll be a.
did it, cleaned everything up. It was so-
And maybe part of the
they
conversation
cleaned
around that,
everything.
says
They
that.
upgraded it, so we have like bridge fence, we've got like the little side fence.
Right.
Like the.
That's great.
They didn't put small data or anything. They
Yeah.
cleaned the patch lines and
Yeah.
they-
Oh, that's
I want
great.
those magnets.
They're pretty cool.
I wanna walk around the property with one of those magnets, just like. scooping it.
That is awesome.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
Yes. Palmer. It's PALMAR.
Okay.
Sign me up for Thrive Food. We just created a new word.
Thrive Food?
Yep.
I heard that, so I thought, okay.
Nice.
Local.
Yeah, that's what I like.
On a regular basis, I'll run around we're at the base of our house, the bar and stuff like that. I've got a small magnet. Every once in a while, pop, there's an old roofing nail or whatever that.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, yeah.
We got two up there.
Maybe even that'll be.
You got a half hour.
Now, we can get it. We're right there.
We're cruising.
I owned a cheap 5 minute picture.
Hey, man,
15 minutes. Vince.
you got 5 minutes.
5 minutes? No way.
That's what my clock said.
I keep getting 2 hours. And you like doing strategic planning as well.
It's a good time for things.
Yeah, there's stickiness. Okay, guys, don't go anywhere because you're gonna present first. I'll help. Okay,
Okay.
yeah, go
All
for
right,
it.
well, with the help of Vince and AI, came up with the word thrivehood. So a state of well-being, self-agency, and joyful engagement with life. So our stickies were initiative, clean lifestyle, sense of humor, ability to play and enjoy life, healthy, willingness, independence, growth mindset, self-compassion, self-respect, feel successful, contentment, self-worth.
Awesome. What do we think of that? I mean, it's
A real word?
I don't think so.
I know.
It is now, Steve.
It's a new word.
That was good.
Anybody else come up
Look
with
at the
words?
dictionary and make sure it's added, yeah.
So our stuff had a lot of selves, so we couldn't come up with a word, because we had a lot of selves in there, self-respect, self-compassion, self-respect, this, sense of humor, a lot of just self-help stuff.
I thought of self-actualizing, but that's too much Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And that's not accessible. But thrivehood, I mean, I don't know.
There's a podcast called Thrivehood.
Is there?
Yeah, there is.
Oh, man. What did they talk about?
Do they talk about these
All
things?
Independence, initiative, self-respect.
It's more of, this one specifically is geared towards like boys, like guiding into manhood.
I love that idea. Nodding heads. Okay, so we got a working model. I think we're good. No one's like running out of the room screaming, so. Okay, who wants to go next? Oh, round of applause for these guys. Who's next? Present your what, word and definition.
Right.
So we titled ours, critical thinking, and it says students that graduate from PSD will have the ability to process and analyze information with a sense of curiosity. The words were critical thinker, curiosity, analytical, open-minded, creativity, inquisitive, and ability to self-reflect.
Very good.
Feedback for this team.
Good job. I like it.
I like the definition.
Feeling good? Cool. Nice. I just want to preface this is hard to do. I know, you guys just went through it, but I mean, it's tough. So I mean, if it doesn't like button up, don't feel bad about it.
So
I mean, if I did it, I'd be coming back and saying, wordsmith this for me, so.
we titled ours empathy. A lot of our stickies were around gratitude, empathy, kindness, emotional intelligence. So we used AI as well, and AI was very wordy, so we took a piece of it that says the graduates use their emotional intelligence to read the unspoken, manage their internal landscape, and connect deeply with those around them. The graduates don't just succeed in a changing world, they elevate it through their presence.
Ooh, I like that.
Wow. Internal. Wow. Cool.
I thought the internal landscape part was important too.
Yeah.
Cause there's self-aware and self-pride, and now I'm seeing the self-reflection over here, and there's definitely links.
Feedback?
That's good. That's good.
Okay. Oh.
I guess got ours done too quickly because we didn't really do a definition, as I guess I misunderstood sort of what was asked. Anyway, our title was a strong work ethic, and the statement was an industrious spirit that perseveres. We need more of a definition, I suppose. But this is, this is all accepting failure, ability to be uncomfortable, grit, fortitude, problem solving, common sense, hardworking, humble, adaptable, nimbleness, succeed through failure, resilient work ethic, survivability, grit. So I mean, we could workshop more of a definition for that, but that was sort of what we came up with, so.
No, this is the polished version. We're done.
Okay.
No.
We did ours like you, Joe.
No, we're gonna work with these. It's okay.
Very cool.
You're feeling good?
Yeah, I mean, if as we work this up, we would need more of a definition for ours, but.
But the initial part of it as a general tenor is sweet.
Yeah. Okay, I got this done. Nice.
All right, so we split ours into two different words. One was collaborative, and we didn't use AI, so
It's okay.
ours is really
All right.
simple. But ability to engage meaningfully and powerfully with a group is our like definition of collaborative. And so it was all about like teamwork and active listening and leadership. And then the other word was citizenship. So we were, we kind of struggled with like, you have a lot of teamwork and collaboration happening. And then also like some academic skills, ability or, you know, like literacy and budgeting, independent living. And so those kind of felt different. So we came up with citizenship because those are the skills needed to contribute or be productive in society or community.
Great. Awesome. Good feedback. Who's left? Wait, I need to jump up and do this.
So we had like the fewest number of sticky notes and we still split in two. We, and we came up with, it says cultural thrivehood. No, just kidding. Cultural competence doesn't sound as exciting, but as we looked at the sticky notes, when you think about, you know, global awareness or understanding perspectives or view outside, over here it says relate and that the word competence really like, what do you, when you think of a portrait of a graduate, the world is shrinking. And so having competence with the AI version did kind of say individuals possess the skills, knowledge, and attitudes to effectively interact with people from diverse backgrounds, understanding and respecting their beliefs, customs, and values. So I think that's a really strong skill set that I think is necessary. So not just knowing and skill, but also like I think the attitude, the kindness, the disposition to care for people that might like come from a different country or a different background or a different language or something different than. And then we had a sticky note for citizenship over here, and then we saw citizenship starting there. So we feel like that was over here. So I think since we another group already covered citizenship, I think we're good. The AI definition was knowledge, abilities, and values to be active and engaged member of society, fostering a democratic, caring, and just community. So not attached to that language, but that's just. Always trying to do awesome. Yeah.
Okay, I think we had everybody. Is that right?
You notice they said Democratic and Republican.
The end of what you said under citizenship, the just community, that definitely falls under that cultural competence as well.
Yeah.
You know, the justice-minded component. So I like that you had two separate words, but they have a lot of overlap.
They do.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is the slide we just did. So how'd this feel?
It's nice to think about goodness and positivity and forward thinking.
Yeah. Other thoughts?
I thought it was interesting, it's about qualities and characteristics, but there's not really a mention of math, science, language arts, right? I mean, some of that like subject area, which we live in so much, right? So, well, it's just interesting, because that is important too. How does that get you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of our stickies that we put up there originally was literacy. And feeling like we gotta have students who can read, write, speak. And, you know, when we look at the success needs of kids beyond third grade that don't have that and what happens into their future. It was kind of like if there's any subject of import, and it's not just a subject, it's all over the place, that would be our one.
I like the single words and simplicity. I don't like, you get lost in sentences, paragraphs, so if you're looking at something, you have a bullet point, and Where you have a word and bullet points.
I would argue that the 3 Rs are up there. I mean, to be a critical thinker, I mean, you're gonna have to do those things. If you're gonna be a communicator or collaborator, so they're in there.
Well, and this is like the what and why. And that should help.
Yeah. One of the things I really like about this process, and I like doing with groups where there's division, where there's philosophical or what they think are philosophical differences around education, divided groups, they do this process and they're like, oh, we're all thinking about the same thing. We all want the same thing. I didn't hear you guys fighting over this language. Oh. So their definition is, our graduates will demonstrate a set of values and behaviors that emphasize the importance of hard work, dedication, and accountability, leading to reliable performance and a commitment to quality and excellence.
Yeah.
Ooh, that chill. Anything surprise you? It's just kind of fun.
We made a new word.
We made a new word. That's awesome. Okay. Yes, indeed. Any other surprises? Okay, options. So what do we do? Where do we go from here? We got some raw material. We have some semi-polished raw material here. So the first fork in the road is a coalition of the willing forms, and they take this content and they create some polished language for us. I'm totally amenable with that, and that would be great if someone has a burning desire to wordsmith this. Please feel free to do that. This is your portrait of a graduate, so it should be your work. Now, I understand that you're all busy humans, and this is my full-time job. So I am, as you're hearing, disinterested third party, not completely disinterested because I am your neighbor, but I'm happy to take this language and tighten it up. Some of these are a little long, so get them all kind of looking the same and feeling the same, and then bring it back to you. I will create a raw document with all this content, and then you'll see my modified document. So I'm not going to erase any work that you guys have done. So that's the other. Or you can do nothing and just go with this. Oh, I see scrunchy faces. They're
What
like,
about option D,
okay,
which is leave it in this space until we get more community input from our families, and then we work it, because if we polish this and then tell our community, we're gonna send out a survey, but if they're listening online right now that like, we've already got it done, it then feels like, are we doing a survey, just a survey? Like I think this work is really great and I really like it, but if we send out what are we missing or what things does our community want, then we could weave that in and polish.
okay,
That just an idea. I mean,
love that.
great.
I see nodding heads in the room.
Well, I think it's a combination of you taking option B and option D to make it. Because maybe you in the survey, or here's what we're looking at, or how does this make you, maybe you send out the polished version or semi-polished version. And then say, how does this look, or what are we missing?
Yeah, or what I can do is just put this in a document clean. I won't put all these Post-its in there. I'll create that and get something. What I'll probably do is create a slide. So it's a touchstone for us as we continue this work. We'll come back to this and say, well, what is our portrait of a graduate? Okay, let's think about priorities. And then later we can tighten up the language as we do more of this work. I'm seeing nodding heads. Is that feeling good? Okay, so that's what we'll do. I will clean up the text and get it all into a document so we can work with it. And then I'll share it out with you folks. We'll create a slide so we can use it. So it's a tool for us. Okay. Let's see. Oh, next steps. So June 4th, we meet again in June. The We will review portrait of graduate, so I'll take this language and put it in front of you again, so you can see what I did. But what we're gonna do, actually, we're gonna be looking at community data. By that point. I don't know that we'll be able to do a SWOT. So really this, the SWOT is a SWOT, who's done a SWOT analysis? Ooh, more people, good. Strength, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. So I use a SWOT when threats don't like that. We do challenges. So strength, weaknesses, opportunities, challenges, and draft priorities. That's probably going to shift into July. So we'll look at community data and process that. Might look at some district data to do the situational analysis, really getting our feet a little wet and seeing where we're at. And then hopefully in July, maybe we can come back together.
I'm thinking probably better off to be end of June or early August, just so that
Okay.
I honor the summertime that our administrators kind of get.
Deserve, yes.
I was just thinking of that too. I don't think we want to call a meeting, have people have to come in if they weren't.
I'm totally up for that as well. Okay. So then we'll look at end of June or beginning of August. Where we'll get into this real priority drafting work. Okay,
We'll also have a new board
Board
members.
you'll have new board members. Now that I think about that. Susan, why don't you and I critically think about that?
Okay.
New board members.
Okay.
Let's see what the results of, let's think about.
Well, okay,
We'll have.
Yeah, so,
Unless somebody does an absolutely amazing write-in campaign, then there will be 3.
yeah.
But
Yeah, I might want to pump the brakes on finalizing priorities until after the election, so we can have explain folks. Yeah, okay,
will you send this to Michelle and or to me,
yes, ma'am.
please? Thank you.
Yep.
That way I can communicate with her what we're talking
Yes.
about.
Does any other building have anything going June 4th? That was our honors convocation, but we moved it to June 3rd.
Oh,
We're good now.
okay, I asked Michelle to look at dates with Vince, and so,
Yeah,
that's a good thing to double check, thank you.
and if we need to look at this June 4th date again, we can do that if it's too much.
If it is the 4 to 6 window. After school, is that?
Oh, yeah, happy to, I'll go as early as you guys want, if you want to do it earlier.
I see our second and third grade spring concert, but my assistant principal could also.
Thanks for being here.
The honors
I see.
convocation is now June 3rd.
June 3rd.
Okay, and then you have a concert.
Second and third grade spring concert, but those are 6 to 6:30 and 7 to 7:30, so it's same time, afternoon, 4 to 6. I'm fine.
Yep.
Just pop over after.
Okay,
yeah.
That's
earlier
why-
than that's very.
That's why I like moving these strategic planning sessions.
I'll check
earlier
dates
in
with
the day.
Michelle when she comes back.
I'm going with Steve to your school meeting now.
There you
Okay,
go.
see you later.
Thank you.
Bye.
So that's the end of our program. Thank you all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. I guess I can gavel this in. We'll gavel this out.
Okay.
Board members, I have a piece of information I want to share with you, if you can, because you're here. If
Okay.
I can share with you guys.
Or are we still in public?
No,
session?
we're gonna,
What was the?
So we'll have counselors on site next. Collect the papers for him.
oh,
I know. I tried to send it.
See,
back to
I
the
both did
file
the same
and-
thing. It was like shuffleboard. though.
Yeah.
You scooted it back to center.
Get a pen back to him.
Okay, you have a care room there?